Hi, I'm Tim Roble, and welcome to another episode of Adventure Athlete. I'm back home from the Hammers, and I watched the UTV race and stayed pretty immersed in the UTV scene while I was out there. I put my X3 XRC through its paces, and these are some of the things that, for my driving style and fit, form, and function, what I learned. So start with, I watched the UTV race. I went through tech and contingency on Friday when they did some qualifying, and I looked at a lot of cars. One of the things I noticed is, like, I'm one of the few that has put the spare down low. One of the things I like to do for product development and prototyping is, no matter what it is, I like to carry weight low and center mass. So you can see I've achieved that with this rear spare tire, and down low you can see I have a jack that's mounted in here with tabs. So that part of the car is on point and perfect. No changes. I've set this all up to accept a 35. Right now I'm currently running the Maxxis Liberties in 32s. This car comes stock with the 30s. I bumped up 2 inches to the 32s. My thoughts on this tire is the Liberty's a really good tire. It's sticky in the rocks. It has no negative traits through the desert. I thought it was really good. It carried weight and momentum well through the sand dunes. I am running 10 pounds of air in them, which caused me to, you can see this tire that's sitting up here, and we have a flat, and there is no physical punctures on the tire. So for those of you that are slick, you know what that means is on the back side here on the tire, because of the low pressure and the high speeds, I rolled a bead. And once again, that was done at 10 psi. So unless you're running dual bead locks, 10 is probably too low for aggressive driving with the Liberties. Liberties worked really good in the rocks. I myself wanted a little bit more ground clearance. I've been wheeling probably the smallest tire I've wheeled with in years has been a 35. I thought I'd be good with the 32s, but I ordered a set of the Tensor race tires. They're more of a desert tire than a rock tire, but I think they're an all-around tire. Talking about the Hammers and the race cars, the top 5 cars were all running 32s. They were all on BF Goodrich. Nobody had stepped up to the 35 that was across the line in the top 10 that I could see. The 6th car was a Can-Am, and I'm happy with the Can-Am platform. I'm not looking to jump to Razor. I think a Can-Am needs a little development. Not that it's behind the Razor. I just think we had incredibly talented drivers in those Razors, and once again, those were relatively stock looking cars with the spares mounted up kind of high against my theory. Rock crawling this car, I went out for one day and I spent 5.3 hours on the car rock crawling. You know, I ran the desert pretty high speed there. My belt temps are staying great. I have the Razorback Technologies belt temp gauge, and I will be doing a full product review on that in the future. I call that a great product and a must-have. If you're going to take the car out for the first time, I would run one of those, as well as the S&B particle separator right there to keep the dust out of the air filter. I think that's a good thing to add also. And what was the third thing that I was thinking about on the car that's a must? These mud flaps. So these wheels are 14-inch wheels, and they're a tight tolerance. So the guy's name is Chad Young, and he's on the X3 Nation and the Do-It-Yourself Facebook forums and everything. I saw his product, and I ordered his rubber flaps, and those performed. They're kind of thin. But it's I didn't need any more. It kept everything out, and I could actually see it work at times. Let somebody else drive the car and watched what was going on dynamically with everything. Let's talk about some of the lessons I learned out there rock crawling. Visibility, number one. Sitting in the seat, long day in the seat. I did notice that the key and my knee don't go well together. So I will be doing a trim on this and relocating the key somewhere else. I do plan on building my own cage. You can see here how much room we have here, and that really takes away from the visibility of the car. So I will be slamming the cage as low as I can get it, as well as I may be lowering the front plastics also. Doing a bulkhead on the car for sure. I have that sitting in the shop. And another thing we see up here is the shocks are single shear. And this right here I thought was a dual shear, but no, it goes down. It's just a radiator bracket, and it goes down and ties into nothing. So I will be addressing all of the issues with the front end now that I got the rear dialed in. I'm going to cut off the factory cage and get rid of some of this plastic here, because this bulk right here actually keeps your line of sight from being able to see your tire real well, at least for my height and how I'm sitting in the car. So I'm going to work on some visibility issues with the cage, moving up to the 35s to get it sitting just a little higher in the rocks and give me a little bit more ground clearance, and work our way through there. I talked to several people out there with play cars, chase cars, and they were running 35s. Everybody that had 35s that I could come in contact with, I talked to them that was on a Can-Am. And I talked to one guy, he said, yeah, he's running the BFG 35s. And he did Baja, 785 miles of pre-running, same belt, no problems. He says the car ran great over 3 days. And, you know, they're just going out and doing some pre-running. So that means they're probably not running race pace all the time. At least when I pre-run, I don't run a race pace all the time. I pre-run, look for where we're going to go, mark obstacles, and go from there. So 35s was on the list. That has to step up to a 15-inch wheel, which is, I think, better for this car anyway. It is a real close tolerance, and all it takes is a little rock to get in between your caliper and your wheel, and then it starts scraping, and next thing you know, you have a flat from a rim failure. Not a great way to go. So anyway, stay tuned. Just like I did with the adventure truck, I'm going to cover what we're doing on the car and how we're going about it, and then I may make this cage available to the public as a weld-on only. I really believe like the bolt-on stuff, Can-Am's done a great job with plates, but I can see bolting on the A and B pillar. But the work I want to do here on the B pillar to truss everything in, it's going to be welded to the car. So it's going to be something, if you want a cage like this, you're going to have to come over to my house, and I'm going to have to install a cage for you. Once again, I don't know if that's something I'm going to do, but leaning that way right now, because I have about 4 people right now that are seriously interested in seeing what I come up with in a theory on my cage design. So that's going to be it for now. If you like this kind of thing, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment on something that you have for a question, and I'm usually pretty good about getting back. This last week, all my YouTube has stacked up because I've been out at the Hammers, and there is no reception out there. So that's going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. I'm Tim Roble, and I'll catch you here next time.